Welcome back to Leggari, guys. We're gonna show you how to make this board. Super fun. It was requested by Christine, and you're gonna see it right here. All right, so getting ready to do another board. Again, I've made sure my board's level. I've cleaned it good. I've sanded my edges. I didn't router this one. I just lightly sanded the edges just so it's nice and round. It's not a square corner. And again, biggest thing, make sure your boards are level. Make sure you don't have like fibers from rags and stuff on it, which I do. So I'm just gonna brush those off because that will ruin the way the epoxy lays out. So we're gonna be doing our deep blue base, and then I'm gonna show you a cool way to do like fracture veins, really skinny veins everywhere. And since I'm not blending highlights and stuff, I'm just doing a foam roller. That way I don't get any roller hairs in it or nothing. I'm kind of using this like a squeegee, not really letting it roll. I'm just kind of applying a little pressure and just flattening it off. It's a lot faster way to spread out the epoxy than trying to roll. But you can see how fluid it is, how nice the soap levels. And notice we don't have a lot of bubbles in here. If we do get bubbles, they just pop on their own. See how they're just popping? That's the cool thing about our resin, you don't have to torch it. Now I want to make sure I kind of got a good thick coat everywhere. And I'm keeping the same pressure. And you notice how some spots will pull piles, right? So it's too thick out there. That's kind of how I can tell where to move the resin. Pull some of that back. Feels like a good even coat everywhere now. So now I'm going to do my edges. And if you don't round your corners, your edges, the material's not going to want to flow over and cover that edge as nice as if it was rounded. So we always like to round these edges. So now I'm just going to quickly agitate the metallics by swirling them. So when we're doing the highlights, the thin vein technique, I'll kind of show you what you don't want to do. So we like to get it on there, let it drip off for a minute. Even right there, once I set it down, it's gonna leave a big pile. See that? I don't want that. I want a skinny vein, so I'm gonna let this really drip off good. And then we're just gonna kind of be random with it. Okay, so that's basically what we're after. Thin, skinny veins like that. We're gonna let it drip off again. Because every time, if you have too much, once you set it down, you're gonna have a blob. So what can happen is everywhere you start, you get a blob. Say I need to come out here and add more. If I have too much and I set it down, it's gonna leave a pile like that, and it's not gonna look as good as like really skinny veins should. You can even scrape some off, because it's gonna continuously flow down. So we'll start right out here. We'll run that one off. And you don't have to dip every time. See how it's leaving some yellow behind? Not a lot, but that's all we want. We want really skinny lines. And we're gonna put these all over, so it's gonna look like a fracture counter. And I don't want to cross, right? Because if I go across this, it's gonna pull that vein sideways, and that's what we don't want. So I need to butt them up and go right with the vein, stop right when I hit a vein. See that, stop right there, go to the other side. But it's pretty quick, you can start. And the more you do, the more fracture it's gonna look. You can leave it like this, kind of subtle. You could add another color in there so you have two colors of veins. But this is a really cool technique. And if I go into a vein, I'll just kind of follow that vein out. See, I left a little thick spot there. You wanna be careful and not try to do that. And if you do wind up getting too big of spots somewhere, I'll show you how to kind of fix that. That's not gonna be bad. But say you had a big spot like this, you could take a rag or a paintbrush, right, and dab that up. Take your roller, again, or a paintbrush, add a little more product there. And you would basically get rid of that thick spot of yellow or gold. So we're just gonna keep adding these veins randomly. Notice how I'm not dipping every time. I'm kind of switching this around. Notice how they're going to all different. I'm not bringing every single one to like a point where they all go. I'll start one in the middle, I'll come off of that, I don't go to that point, I'll come out here to another spot. You want to kind of be random as you're doing it. And you just basically pick as much as you want to put out there. I mean, I could keep going. I can make this look like there's just all kinds of veins going everywhere. I could add more. I could do, you know, a thicker vein down the middle, a couple thicker ones, smaller fracture ones, add more colors. There's a lot of options here when you're doing this. But it's a really cool, simple technique. And if I want to add more in one spot, I just follow that vein, a little more on there. Some of these are kind of light. And then I'll show you in about half an hour, 45 minutes, we'll come back out and we'll follow these exact veins, and it'll create an even cooler look because it's kind of setting up. So it'll agitate those metallics just where I'm touching it, and it'll create another cool look. All right, so it's been about 30 minutes. I'm gonna follow these veins again, and I'll show you guys the kind of depth it adds to it after it starts to set up. So what happens is we're gonna agitate the metallics, but the material's kind of setting up, so it's not gonna level out and marbleize the same as everywhere else. So these are gonna be even more dominant now and create a really cool look. You can even do this technique without any colors. You can do a solid color, come back half an hour, 45 minutes later, run just veins through it with the tongue depressor, and it would add some really cool effects to it without any color. So really simple, really fun. So I'm gonna follow this main one. And again, if it's still kind of really fluid, you might want to wait a little bit longer. But I want to kind of run just the same way I did with my other colors. Make sure I'm not crisscrossing anything. So I'm only gonna do a couple of these so we can kind of tell the difference. That way you guys can see the difference of coming back and running the tongue depressor through it again to show you the kind of effect that it leaves. Add more, say I want to add more gold, I could totally do that. I mean, obviously the longer this sets up in a bucket, the hotter and faster it's going to set up. So just keep that in mind if you really want to add some more. I'll do one here. This is starting to look really cool. And you can kind of see how the yellow's dripping down the edge too. I kind of added some of the gold in some spots there. Notice how I'm running it right on the same exact lines. So I'm gonna add some more gold to this. Stuff in my cup is obviously not usable. So I'm just gonna go around the table, spots where I got drips. I'm gonna put the gold on my tongue depressor and I'm just gonna run it again. Check it out, turned out pretty cool. Want to thank Christine for giving us the inspiration on the colors. We did deep blue, gold accents, highlights. Turned out really cool, really simple. Remember, you can do any color combo you want, and hitting this about a half hour to an hour after is gonna give you this really cool depth and effect. Order your kit today, Leggari.com.
Hey Leggari friends, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. The video you just watched was requested by one of our subscribers, so if you have any cool color combinations or designs and techniques you would like to see, go ahead and drop them in the comment section below. We would love to hear from you. See you guys next time.